The Public Works Department has announced an ambitious infrastructure investment plan. It's in a bid to spur economic growth. Let's take you to the Public Works Minister, Patricia de Lille, for more on this story. Minister de Lille, good evening and thank you so much for your time. Firstly, you know, when people generally look at infrastructure, most of the time we are thinking about the services that we're able to access on a day-to-day and perhaps the decay state in which many of them lie today. Is that what government means when it talks about a rollout of infrastructure, or are you talking about other projects, and what would those priorities be?
First of all, Kathy, in 2020 already, government adopted an infrastructure investment plan consisting of 62 projects. And most of them are in the beginning stages and some of them are up and running already. Now in 2021, Cabinet approved the National Infrastructure Plan that can take us up to 2050. But we've already started with the implementation. For now, we have got a coherent plan that can direct the country's infrastructure rollout over the next 50 years. So by doing that, we were able to scope the whole country and determine where infrastructure is needed most, especially at local government level. There is a backlog of maintenance and repairs at local level, and we are addressing that because that is the cold phase of delivery. But overall, some of the projects already in progress in energy, the Department of Mineral and Energies has increased from 1 megawatt to 100 megawatts so that they can get independent power producers in. Also on the transport field, we have seen Minister Mbalula now also opening up Transnet for the third party. SANRAL is busy with 8 projects to the value of 18 billion, and another 9 projects are currently in the planning stages. So yes, we have made some progress, but we will have to deal expeditiously, especially with social infrastructure that is affecting our people on a daily basis.
What do you find are some of the biggest challenges that you're facing as you roll out this infrastructure development program? And of course, on the other hand, you know, there's the issue of budgets, that you have. Yes. The budgets of all of these critical departments that are providing basic services that have been cut. How does that affect our ability to be spending on the rollout of infrastructure right now?
Kathy, I think the biggest challenge that we face right now is that we need to improve coordination between the 3 spheres of government. Every year in our country, we underspend about 43 billion rand. And with the establishment of Infrastructure South Africa, that is now coordinating and interacting with all 3 spheres of government, including state-owned entities, we are beginning to see a clearer picture. So if all 3 spheres of government can work together, especially local government, National Treasury has now proposed that from the municipal infrastructure grant, that the municipalities spend at least 8% of that budget on maintenance and repairs. So the Infrastructure South Africa, headed by Dr. Kgotsenso Ramokgopa, they set up structures at provincial level, at local level, where we've got the Municipal Infrastructure Agency. And finally, we can see the results of working together and pulling resources together, also through the district development model. So it's all work in progress, and of course under the leadership of the president that check on infrastructure quite often, because infrastructure is the key component of the economic reconstruction and recovery plan. And so yes, we are working hard to pull all government resources together into one plan. But we also know that government cannot do it alone. So there are a lot of public-private partnerships that we've entered into. Government has committed 100 billion rand over the next 10 years, and that we use as a catalytic fund and then get some blended finance in from the private sector. The private sector has also assisted us in the infrastructure department with a lot of skills. We've got more than 42 people from the private sector. So it is a matter of building on that trust so that the public sector and the private sector can work together to maximize and to deal with the backlog of infrastructure.
Minister de Lille, there are big questions that are being raised about, when it comes to whether these plans, particularly for the infrastructure rollout, will not be scuppered, specifically by the Preferential Procurement Policy Framework Act and, issues around the validity of that particular regulation and how it could impact procurement processes going forward.
Well, first of all, both the Supreme Court of Appeal and the Constitutional Court, they did not have any problem with the Procurement Act. The problem came with the regulations, and government will amend the regulations to give effect to the Procurement Act. So therefore, procurement can proceed because the Procurement Act is still intact. And we have received lots of legal advice how to proceed, but we were very concerned that it might impact on the rollout of infrastructure. But the preferential procurement, where we need to give priority to women, to young people, to people with disabilities, that program is already within government. And it is just a matter of correcting the regulations so that it does not impact on the preferential procurement. We have to bring about transformation in our country, especially in the infrastructure industry. It's very male-dominated. So we look forward to bringing in more women, more young people into the industry.
Public Works Minister Patricia de Lille will have to leave it there for tonight. Thank you for your time.